Hello, and welcome back to Gizmos and Gadgets. We are on our way back to build another gas-powered racer, I think. Yes, alright. Class 2. Excuse me. Boy, I am really glad this place is not populated by chimps. I cannot understate how miserable it is to play against them. They're just awful. I may put an episode in where I have another save and let you guys see what it's like, but I promise you, you're not cheating yourself out of anything other than some extra misery for not wanting to play with the chimps. Especially when you have tons of parts that you have to collect, and every time they hit you, they make you drop something. I mean, it is unfettered misery. Speaking of unfettered misery, I don't want to make that fucked up shape. Yeah, give me a weird machine. Where do you want that? Green dot? Yeah, is that good? You like that? Good, alright. Look at that fish. It's so fucking happy. I want to die. Hooray, brakes. Alright, so how do we get into the... Oh, we gotta go all the way down to the end, huh? Alright. See where this takes us. Why would you give us two options here? Shark decal. Curved sloping windshield, I believe that's the best one. Fuel tank. Man, a lot of doors we're gonna have to open to get all of these. All these boxes we can see. That's okay. Come on. Don't do this to me. Come on. I want to not use all the parts. I want to be an asshole. Yeah, whatever. This is fine. I just had a memory that I think is wrong, but I vaguely recall that you can beat those without using the switch. You can just not use the switch and it still lets you pass. But I'm probably misremembering that. I'll try it the next time we... Ah, well, here we go. Let's see. Nope. Alright. I was wrong. It's worth a try, though. If you're watching this, did any of you ever have any of those, like, little science play kits for kids? They made them in all different kinds, but I'm thinking specifically of an electronics one I had, which, boy, I forgot, literally came in a VHS box. They had repurposed like, there was no VHS with it. It's just... that happened to be, like, this box, this whole container is about the size of 2 VHS boxes. So, and that makes it easy to put on a shelf and sell. But the actual, like, there was some, like, a little booklet and some stuff that filled up half of the thing, and the other half was all the little bits and bobs and wires and things that all fit into that. They put a VHS box in it. And I always thought that was awfully weird. To this day, it's kind of weird. But now I'm having these memories of those various little play kits. I remember also, like, I didn't read the booklet because, you know, you're a kid. Who wants to read? Um, I joke. I read a lot as a kid, but like when you're just presented with a bunch of like weird components, you just want to start sticking them together, right? And most of them were pretty simple, but one of the things they included in this box was some, what do you call it? Steel wool. And if you're not familiar or have never done this, because if you're not a weirdo like me who's done this, steel wool burns when you apply electrical current to it. And I didn't know that as a kid, and it nearly gave me a panic attack thinking I was about to burn down my room because I had a little, you know, I had a 9-volt battery. Wait, what? You're gonna make me use all the components. All right. It had a 9-volt battery and some steel wool in it, and presumably somewhere in that booklet it said like, "Hey, here's you know, so you're informed about what's about to happen and won't shit yourself thinking you're gonna die and burn yourself to death and you're home." But like, I was just sticking stuff together. I'm like, oh, this is metal. It'll conduct electricity. Little baby solipsist thinking that. But like, hold on. I gotta do math. 6 times... 3 times 2, and then... What do you want? This? I'll do this. This is just easier than trying to do something else. What was I saying? Sticking stuff together and just, I don't know, making bad decisions. Even back in the 90s, like, oh, son of a bitch, I wanted those. Like, a lot of the hilariously dangerous material kids experiment stuff from like the starting from like the 40s through the 70s had really been, you know, sort of removed from the market at that point. But there was still some like, definitely some questionably dangerous stuff for kids back in the day. I don't know if there's, I'm trying to think of like in the United States, whether there's a specific regulatory body that would handle like kids' toys, and I'm thinking about it and thinking maybe there isn't. I mean, there's probably some combination of like the Federal Trade Commission and like some other stuff that's just, you know, basic hazardous materials or those sorts of things. But I think beyond that, it's probably mostly down to lawsuits, right? To determine whether or not your product is on the market or gets on the market or stays on the market. Because if a kid gets hurt, you're going to get your ass sued off. Let's see if I get this right. Nope. All right. To the other one then. Probably should have opted out of this one, but it's fine. Oh, damn it. Okay, it's still opened, yeah. Good. Accidentally hit the go back button instead. But yeah, if you had any of those like science project things or mishaps with them or whatever else from any era, I'm interested to hear. I had a variety of them. There are probably some... there are definitely a number of them that I never even opened. Let's see, what components do we have now? Self-lubricating metal bushings. Those are crap. I think those are the best tires. 4-to-1, 3-to-1, so that one's iffy. Standard brakes. Flat sloping. I don't know what the best engine size is. Hey, don't get pissed off at me, Super Solver. I'm the one trying to get you components here. Well, that was underwhelming. Yeah, more than a few of those that I probably never opened. Spent a lot of time as a kid in, like, educational museums and things. I was lucky enough to have a number of those around when I was growing up. And as a result, drove a lot of, let's see, oil with the boot. What a weird choice. Spent a lot of time, like, sort of fostering that scientific interest, but mostly out of sort of somewhat unguided madness. For better or for worse. I mean, to that end, I feel like that's one of the things that really hampers kids from getting into a lot of topics, not just STEM. STEM has a whole host of problems, not the least of which is just kids find it boring because it's taught in really boring ways. It is taught in ways that are typically extremely unengaging or fail to recognize the need for, like, kids to relate to real world concepts. Trying to avoid giving too much personal information that could identify me. But I've worked some jobs in which I have worked with kids in science education, and like, one of the basic things is just kids will get bored as shit real quick. So if you want to encourage them to actually, you know, pay attention, they have to be directly engaged with the material the whole time. Which way am I going now? And if you fail to do that, you will lose them very quickly. And especially in, like, in US science curriculum, I had a couple of extraordinary teachers over the years who managed to get away from the let's see, 2 and 4, 16, 9 and no, 12 and that should work. No, that should work. But with if not for them, I mean, math and science are really boring as shit by standardized curriculum. And I recognize that some of that comes down to, like, hey, we've got to make it feasible to actually teach these things. And a class in a standardized classroom, especially in the public schools in the 90s, full of rowdy kids, trying to get them to behave and pay attention for half a second is a chore all its own, let alone get them engaged in a way that's also economical, so that you don't have to, you know, you don't have to do what you really should be doing, which is dedicate, you know, individual time to individual kids. But yeah, there's certainly a lot of improvements that could be made in that realm. Let's see. I don't think there's, I mean, I guess? Let's see. I guess so. So to that end, I mean, this is like games like this and the Super Solver series, the like, we're not doing Penis B. Get the fuck out of here. That engine does not look like it's gonna do us good, but we're gonna give it a try anyway. See if we can make it through with all the other good components. You know, these educational video games really deserve a lot of credit, especially as I'm realizing now some of these, having flashbacks to remembering some of these and remembering how much they influenced my thinking at the time. Having like an engaging way to get acquainted with scientific concepts or education in general is underrated as far as a needed component. I'm gonna lose this one. Gotta get a better engine. Yeah, I get it. Morty's vehicle is faster, I know. No, keep that. Alright. Need our new engine. And on that subject, to continue my bizarre train of unfollowable thought, hopefully it goes without saying that, hopefully it's a non-controversial, not considered political statement to say that teachers should be paid more than they already are, and should really be appreciated further for the incredible amount of effort they put into work despite the terrible curriculums they're often fed to deliver to the children. Ah, there's our engine. All right, I think we're basically good at this point then. But there's also something to be said for there being some terrible teachers too. For every really incredible teacher I had a really bad one. In fact, I would probably blame some really... I mean, I ended up going into the sciences, but one of the major reasons I didn't get more into math was basically because I had a couple of really bad math teachers over the years. Like, more bad ones than good ones. And that really influenced my opinion of math as a whole. And I think on the whole, I have I'm more math oriented than the majority of Americans. I mean, math gets a pretty negative rap in general, so the fact that I'm only sort of meh on it is puts me ahead of the majority, but yeah, I mean, trying to verify the quality of teachers is tricky, and not underestimating the influence that a good teacher or a bad teacher can have on a kid is incredibly important. Likewise, since we're talking about the game, I mean, taking into account alternative means of education, because not every kid is going to be that productive sitting and being lectured at for an extended period. Anyway, this got on a weird tangent, talking about education and all those things. Hopefully it didn't drive people off. I don't know, why the fuck are you here in the first place watching me play an old DOS game? Anyway, thank you for watching this bizarre episode. In the next one, we will go back to the Alternative Energy Center and do something else. I don't even know what's next on the list, so see you guys for that one next time.